All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All praises and glory goes to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the men of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. You won't make it out with your life, okay, when this thing comes to pass, okay? When this thing comes, because you're going to take the chip, okay? You gonna take the chip when this thing comes to pass. Okay, so you gonna make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass. Okay, and I pray that I don't take the chip. Okay, so if you want to make it out with your life, okay, you gotta have the right doctrine. Are you following the men of GMS? If that's a no, how you gonna make it out with your life then? Explain that to me. How you gonna make it out with your life if you're not following the men in GMS who got the right and 100% truth? Okay, okay. All these other groups don't have it. ISUBK they don't got it. GOCC they don't got it. IUC they don't got the truth. Okay, okay. Christianity sure don't got it. Okay, so how you gonna make it out with your life if you're not following that tiny sect of GMS? Okay, so you can make it. Okay. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. The Proverbs 3, verse 5. Trust in Yahweh with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understanding. And all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy path. Okay. So that's what this is. Okay. That's what this is. You got to trust in Yahweh, Yahushai with all your heart and lean not to thy own understanding. Okay. So, and that's if you want to make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass, okay? That's what this is all about. Okay, if you want that crown of salvation, the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 1. I saw Yahweh sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood cherubims, each one with 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the doors moved after him and cried at the house where it was filled with smoke. Then I said, Woe is me, I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the people of unclean lips. Of my eyes have seen the King of the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Okay. So when this thing comes to pass, how you gonna make it out with your life? When this thing comes to pass, okay? When these thermonuclear bombs get detonated over America, okay, and you not beamed it up, when you not beamed it up out of here, okay? Then I said, jumping down to verse 8. I also heard a voice of Yahweh of hosts says, Whom shall I send? Who shall go for us? And I said, Here am I, send me. And he said unto me, Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. You listen to GMS, but you don't understand not, okay? Because you be joining GMS already, okay? You listen, okay, but you're not taking heed to the doctrine of GMS. What's the doctrine of GMS? Yahweh's God. What's the doctrine of GMS? Yahweh Shai is the Son of God. What's the doctrine of GMS? The so-called white man's going down, okay? In biblical proportions, it's going to get annihilated, okay? So these are the basic things of GMS, okay? So when this thing comes to pass, how you and your loved ones are gonna make it out with your life, okay, when this thing comes to pass. But go and understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and their eyes, ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and understand with their hearts, and convert and be healed. And I said, how long? I said, yeah, how long? And he answered me, until the cities be wasted and without inhabitants, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, okay? So when this thing comes to pass, how you gonna make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass, okay? If you still up there chucking and driving, okay, not going underneath the doctrine of the GMS, okay, you won't make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass, okay? When these nuclear bombs get detonated over America, you're going to hear a loud boom, okay? Then you, like I said before, you heard me say this again, your ears going to start bleeding, okay? You're going to start catching a straight hell, okay? Urinate on yourself already, okay? How you going to make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass, okay? When Yahweh Shai strike this place down, okay? Okay, because we already know that GMS got the truth, okay? We know that to be a fact, okay? We know that to be a fact. The hour is late. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the elect are already sealed. Okay, I just think we going already. Okay, the elect are sealed. The book of Yoel, chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye a trumpet unto a trumpet in Zion, and a sound and a holy alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. Okay, you should be trembling at the word of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Why you not trembling at the word of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai? Okay, you should be trembling at the word of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Jumping up to verse 1, verse 15. At last, for that day, the day of Yahweh of hosts is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Shall it come? Okay, it's gonna come as a destruction force to the Almighty. Okay, that's what this is about. Coming over here to the Apocrypha. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, verse 24. Again, I say not, say not it is enough, and things, what evil shall come unto me hereafter. In a day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. In a day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. For it is an easy thing for Yahweh. and the day of death to reward a man according to what his ways. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in the end his deeds shall be discovered. Okay, so it's an easy thing for Yahweh to reward a man everything. Okay, it's an easy. What's this about? Come over here to the NET version. The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 10 in the NET version. And if you have slacked off in a day of trouble, your strength is small. Deliver those being taken away to death, and hold back those that are slipping to the slaughter. If you say, but I knew nothing about this. If you say you didn't know about the MOTB and you knew about it, if you knew about this so-called white man going down, okay, but you not teaching it, okay, you not coming into the right doctrine, you gonna get put to death on this side violently, okay? This is a day of Yahweh Shai, okay? If you sit up and say, oh, I didn't know nothing about this, okay? I didn't know nothing about the microchip, okay? And GMS been saying the microchip over 20, 30 years, okay? What's this about, okay? Tell me, come clean. Tell me what's this about. Tell me what's this all about, okay? You not coming clean into Yahweh Shai. But if we did not know about this, won't the one who evaluate your heart discern it? Won't the one who guard your life realize and repay each person according to his deeds? Okay, so if you want to make it out with your life, number one, you won't take that RFID chip when it comes out. Okay, when this white man throws everything in the kitchen sink at you, so you and your loved ones can escape. Okay. So you and your loved ones can escape. Okay, one moment. The book of Genesis 19, verse 29. So when Yahweh destroyed the cities of the regions, Yahweh honored Abraham's request, and he removed Lot from the destruction when he destroyed the cities that he lived in. Okay, so he removed Lot out to destruction. Okay, so if you want to if you want to make it out with your life, okay, you got to be removed out of this destruction of that Yahweh Shai is coming down with. Coming back over to the KJV. What's this about? Tell me what's this about. Okay, are you not following Yahweh Shai? The book of Genesis 19, verse 16. And while he lingered, the man laid hold upon his hand and his hands of his wife and upon his hands of his two daughters. Yahweh being merciful unto him, and they were were brought forth as they were brought forth and set without the city. Okay, and it came to pass when they had brought forth their brood, he said unto escape with thy life, look not behind thee, neither lest thou say unto thou in the plain, escape to the mountain lest thou be consumed. Okay, so if you want to make it out with your life, don't look back. Okay, if you want to make it out with your life, don't look back at this America. Okay, this society, this crumbling society. America's destroyed. America's destroyed already. The book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 10. Looked up and saw the whole region of the Jordan. He noticed that it was well watered. This was before Yahweh obliterated this place, okay? That's what Yahweh Shah is going to do to America. This place and society is going to get obliterated, okay? On that day, okay? This place is going to get nuked straight to, yeah, this place is going to get nuked, okay? It's going to be obliterated, okay? Just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Obliterated Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, all the way to Zor, okay? So your job is to come back to the one that made you, okay? So you can make it out with your life, what I said on multiple occasions, okay? That's what this is about. If you want to know what this is about, that's what this is all about. Okay, so you have to serve Yahweh Shai with all your integrity. Okay, come over here to the Book of Kings. The Book of Kings, chapter 9, verse 4. You must serve me with integrity and sincerity, just as your father David did. Do everything that I commanded and obey my rules and regulations, okay? Just as David, you have to serve Yahweh Shai just as David did, okay? That's what this is about. Coming back over here to the King James Version, one moment. And you might say, sit up and say, well, oh my gosh, I'm sick of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing it. Just, you might sit up and say, I'm sick of hearing the same thing. I'm sick of hearing the same thing over and over again. When is it going to come? The book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 1. Finally, my brethren, rejoice in Yahweh, to write the same thing to you and to me. Indeed, it is not grievous, but it is safe, okay? To write the same thing or say the same thing over and over again is safe for you, okay? Because when that day comes, what are you going to do in that day, okay? How are you going to make it out with your life when this day comes to pass, okay? To say the same thing over and over again is a safety for you, okay? So you can make it out with your life, okay, when this day comes to pass. Woe unto me, woe unto me. One moment. To sit up and say the same things to you is It's safety for you. The book of the second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? Okay, so who's gonna remember, who's gonna basically remember, who's gonna deliver me in these days? Okay, the beginning of the beginning, this is just the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine, the beginning of death, of wars, and the beginning of the powers that stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, so what's he gonna do? Okay, this is all of this is building up your faith in Yahweh Yahushai. It's building up your faith in Yahweh Yahushai so you can make it out with your life when this comes to pass. You and your loved ones. You and your loved ones, okay? If you value your loved one's life and your life, you come back to the one that made you. Turn to the book of Baruch. First, before the book of Baruch, let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof, he will seek out the wisdom of the ancients and be occupied in prophecy. So your whole mindset should be postured behind these prophecies so you can make it out with your life when this thing comes to pass, when Yahweh uh, come with 10,000 saints. Okay, the slain of the Lord Yahweh was going to be many. Yahweh is going to destroy many of them. The book of, I'll start at verse 1. The book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore, the Lord hath made good his word. Okay, did not Yahweh make good his word? Okay, the Lord Yahweh made good his word. Okay, unto us. Did not he put us into slavery? Did not he got us so messed up on the side, you waking up and say, I'm an African American. He got us so messed up and saying, you got the Israel waking up saying, I'm a Native American Indian. I'm Latino. I'm a Mexican, okay? That's how far Yahweh's vengeance is on us. We don't know what the hell we are on this side, okay? You're not coming back to your nationality, okay? So you're going to get put to death, okay? You got to come back to the one nationality. So you can make it out with your life, okay? Therefore, Yahweh have made good the words of his promise against us, our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings, and against our princesses, our prince, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us a great plague would never happen underneath the whole heaven that come to pass in Jerusalem, according things which were written in the law of Moses. Jumping down to 49, the book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 40 to 29. If ye will not hear these my words, surely this very great multitude will be turned into a small number among the nations, whether I have scattered them. So that's what this is about. This multitude have been turned into a small number. Haven't we got turned into a small number on this side, okay? Getting put to death at a high radical rate, especially underneath the so-called black woman, okay, with her abortion rate. Seek Yahweh Yahushua while you still can, okay? That's my message to you. That's my message to you. So you can make it out with your life, you and your loved ones. Okay, come over here to the book of Acts. It's from the NET version. The book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 30, chapter 16, verse 30, Salakia. Then he brought them outside and asked, Sir, what must I do to be saved? They replied, believe in the Lord Yahweh and you will be saved, you and your household, okay? So what's believing in Yahweh not taking a microchip? What's believing in Yahweh going beneath the doctrine of GMS, okay? That's what this is about, okay? I'm not going to just keep hammering in, but it needs to be hammered in, okay? Over and over again, okay? Let's get it. The book, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, okay? But the day of Yahweh will come like a thief. When it comes, the heavens will disappear with a horrific noise. What's that horrific noise that you're talking about? What's that horrific noise? What's that about? Ears start bleeding, okay? Instant panic sets in, okay? Urinate on your pants already, okay, on that day, okay? What's that horrific noise? To coming back to the KJV. What's that about, okay? What's that horrific noise that you sound? Coming over here to the KJV. The book of Job, chapter 15, verse 21. A dreadful sound is in his ears, and prosperities the destroyer shall come up upon him. A dreadful sound is in his ears, okay? What's that sound? Boom, okay? Bow, okay? Oh my God, urinate on myself. The day of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai is here. Who shall be able to stand? Come over here to the book of Malachi, excuse me. The book of Micah, chapter 3, verse 2. Malachi, excuse me. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 2. But who shall abide his coming, and who shall stand when he appears? He is like a refiner's fire, like an fuller of soap. Okay, so who's gonna abide in his? Who could abide in his coming? Okay, who could withstand it? Coming back over here, back over here. But the day of Yahweh will come like a thief. It's going to come on you suddenly, okay? Why? Because you're doing a twist. Why? You not paying attention. Why? You not taking heed to prophecy, okay? That's why it's going to come like a thief in the night on you, okay? You're not paying attention to what the Lord Yahweh Shai is saying. You say, well, I didn't know nothing about this. You say, I want to get that nice job. You say, I want to keep my wife. You say, I want to keep my kids, okay? So how you going to make it out with your life when it comes to like a thief on you, okay? It's going to come on you suddenly in that day, okay? That's what this is all about, okay? It's going to come on you suddenly in that day. Okay, you're not gonna be able to escape on those in this day. Okay, when the Lord try to bring this about, when this thing comes to pass. Okay, the slaying of the Yahweh was going to be everywhere. Okay, that's what this is about. The slaying of Yahweh is going to be everywhere from that day. Okay, turn to the book of Jeremiah. The slaying of the Lord Yahweh in that day is going to be from one end of the earth to the next. Okay, you're going to wish that you had this thing close to your heart, okay, close to your bosom, okay? You're going to wish in that day you did, okay? But it's not going to happen. Serve Yahweh Shai with fear and trembling. That's what this is about. Now, I know that brothers, the sincere brothers, this don't apply to you, okay? This applies to the 2/3. All you brothers here, you're doing a beautiful job. All your videos is coming out. You bringing out this truth on a 365 day base, day and night. Beautiful job. All you brothers are doing a very beautiful job. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 30. Then Jeremiah makes his following prophecy against them. Like a lion about to attack, Yahweh will war from his heights of heaven, from his on his holy dwelling on high. He will war loudly and war mightily against the land. He will shout with a trumpet like those stomping the juice grapes, and from the grapes against all those who live on the earth. The sound of battle will resound to the ends of the earth, for Yahweh will bring his charges against the nations and pass judgments on all humanity. And in his hands the wicked over to be killed in war. Yahweh affirmed it, okay? So they're going to get killed in war, and it's World War III that's going to manifest. Verse 33. Those who have been killed by Yahweh at that time will be scattered from one end of the earth to the other. They will not be mourned over or gathered up or buried. Their corpses will lie scattered over like the ground like manure, okay? They're gonna be scattered like manure in that day, okay? That's what this is about. That's what this is about, okay? They're gonna be scattered like manure in that day, okay? The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 14. When you see this, you will be happy, and none of you will be reviled. Yahweh will reveal his power of his servants and his anger and his enemies. For look, Yahweh comes with fire, his chariots come like a whirlwind to reveal his raging anger, this battle cry, and the flame of his arrows, okay? UFOs, okay, the so-called white man seeing them and he's trembling, okay? What's he gonna say, okay? Get it when he give me a chance, okay? What's his UFO saying when you see him, okay? For Yahweh judges humanity with fire in his sword. Yahweh will kill many, okay? He's going to be killed many in that day, okay? Many of us is going to be slain of this when this thing comes to pass. Many of America's going to be destroyed, okay? America's is already a fallen kingdom, okay? Seek Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. America's destroyed already, okay? This is what these UFOs are saying, okay, when they come. This is a meaning of the inscriptions, a book of Daniel, chapter 5, verse 26. This is a meaning of the scriptures subscribed, meaning, tekel, and parson. This is the interpretation of the word meaning. God has numbered your kingdom's days and brought it to an end. As for tekel, you will be weighed on the balance and found lacking. And Parsons, your kingdom is divided and given over to the Medes and to the Persians, okay, the Russians, okay. Russia's gonna drop nuclear weapons on this day, okay. That's what this is about. Russia's gonna drop nuclear weapons on this day, okay, and destroy this man, okay? He and his diabolical rule, okay? That's what this is about. Turn to the book of Isaiah. Leave you with this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 9. For Yahweh's day of judgment is coming. It is a day of cruelty and savage rage of anger, destroying the earth and annihilating its sinners, okay? So destroying the earth and annihilating its sinners, okay? Destroying this man already. I'll get you a couple more scriptures and I sign off. Destroying this man already. The so-called white destiny is destruction, okay, and to be put in slavery, okay. Don't let this man deceive you by thinking that he got a future. This white man don't got a future in this place, okay? This so-called white man don't got a future. His future is damnness, okay? Those that look through the windows are darkened, okay? This white man is finished and annihilating his sinners, okay? The book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 30, chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, thou the ears of my people, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which will I put in thy mouth, said Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. For fear not the imagination against thee, the incredulity of them that trouble thee, that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Okay, that's it. So you don't believe, there's no sweat, okay? You're gonna die in your unfaithfulness, okay? You're not taking heed to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. You still playing the twist and playing games. No problem, okay? You're gonna die in your unfaithfulness when this thing finally comes to pass, or when Yahweh Shai finally brings this to pass. So hopefully you was well edified. I like to give praises to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Almighty Yahweh Yahushai, Shalom.